Saturn has at least 62 moons. Titan, the second largest moon in the solar system behind Jupiter's moon Ganymede, Earth's moon is the fifth largest, is just somewhat smaller than Mercury. The moons exhibit a number of harsh characteristics. Pan and Atlas are shaped like flying saucers, whereas Iapetus has a side that is as brilliant as snow. The 101 ice volcanic geysers that were found at Enceladus' southern pole spew water and other liquids. Some of these satellites, including Prometheus and Pandora, are referred to as shepherd moons because they interact with ring material and keep the ring's orbits in place. Numerous minor moons of Saturn have been named by astronomers, and new ones are constantly being created and destroyed. Our solar system's evolution has been influenced by the gravitational pull of Saturn, the second most massive planet in the solar system after Jupiter. It might have helped hurl Neptune and Uranus violently into space, opens a new tab. It may have bombarded the inner planets with debris early in the solar system's history, along with Jupiter. Scientists are still researching the formation of gas giants and running simulations of the early solar system and try to understand the role that Jupiter, Saturn, and other planets play in our solar system. A 2017 study found that Saturn steers potentially fatal asteroids further from Earth than Jupiter. When Pioneer 11 flew within 13,700 miles, 22,000 kilometers, of the ringed planet in 1979, it became the first spacecraft to orbit Saturn. Images captured by the probe allowed astronomers to distinguish two of the planet's outer rings and its strong magnetic field. Thanks to the Voyager mission, astronomers discovered that the planet's rings are composed of tiny ringlets. The information the ship also returned led to the discovery of 3 of Saturn's moons. The Cassini orbiter for Saturn was the biggest interplanetary spacecraft ever constructed. The 2-story, 6-ton probe, 5.4 metric tons. It helped to locate plumes on the icy moon Enceladus and carried the Huygens probe, which successfully entered Titan's atmosphere and landed there. After 10 years of observation, Cassini returned in 2013 with stunning data on the ringed planet and its moons. Additionally, it returned a picture that was an exact replica of the well-known pale blue dot picture, which depicts Earth as seen from behind Saturn. In order to finish the project, Cassini was purposefully crashed into Saturn in September 2017 with low chance of impacting and polluting a habitable moon. There are no scheduled additional missions to Saturn, but scientists have proposed sending rovers to Titan or the icy moon Enceladus. The rotorcraft lander Dragonfly will be launched by NASA in 2026 and will touch down on Titan in 2034, the agency announced in 2019. Among its many other onboard instruments, Dragonfly will utilize a mass spectrometer to search for the chemical constituent of life on Titan. The rings of Saturn occasionally disappear. This is one of Saturn's most puzzling facts. Saturn has an inclined axis. From our vantage point, we watch as this planet round the Sun, changing locations. There are times when the rings are found in all their glory, and other times when it appears as though they have mysteriously disappeared. This ring loss was first seen in 2008 to 2009, and it will recur in 2024 to 2025. Therefore, despite the appearance that Saturn's gorgeous rings are fading away, they are still present. Saturday originates from Saturn. Saturday is the only day of the week that still pays homage to its Roman origins. It has the names of the Roman god and the planet Saturn. It is believed that Earth was ruled by Saturn, the agricultural deity of the Romans, during a period of prosperity and virtue. In Indian mythology, Saturn is referred to as Shani, the Lord of Justice. There could be life nearby Saturn. The following is one of the most amazing Saturnian realities that has personally amazed me. Saturn cannot support life. According to NASA's Cassini mission, one of Saturn's moons, Enceladus, has ice geysers erupting from its south pole. Everywhere there is liquid water on Earth, there is life. Thus, life could exist close to Saturn. The fact that this ring planet is so far away from the Sun that it takes 29 Earth years for it to make one rotation of the Sun is astounding. Astronomers are still in awe of this planet even though only 4 spacecraft have visited it. It certainly helps with its beautiful rings. And, I'll be the first to admit it, Saturn has replaced Jupiter as my favorite planet since I finished writing this essay. The second gas giant in the solar system, Saturn is the 6th planet. Although this planet is well known for its intricate rings, there is much more to learn about this massive gas giant. Here are some key details about Saturn. Saturn is the 6th planet from the Sun and is the 2nd largest planet in the solar system in terms of mass and diameter. When contrasted, it is easy to see why Saturn and Jupiter have been labeled as relatives. The atmospheres and spins of these two worlds have a lot in common. For these reasons, Saturn was given the name of the Roman legendary figure who was Jupiter's father. Helium and hydrogen make up the majority of the gas giant Saturn. Saturn is the 2nd most massive planet in the solar system and has a volume greater than 760 Earths, with a mass that is almost 95 times that of Earth. The ring planet, which has the lowest density of all the planets, is the only one that is less dense than water. If there was a bathtub big enough to hold Saturn, it would float. The yellow and gold streaks observed in Saturn's atmosphere are caused by heat rising from the planet's interior and the brisk winds in Saturn's upper atmosphere, which may reach velocities of up to 1,100 miles per hour, 1,800 kilometers per hour at its equator. In general, Saturn revolves once every 10.5 hours. The planet's rapid rotation causes Saturn to bulge at its equator and flatten at its poles. The equator of the planet is roughly 75,000 miles, 120,000 kilometers wide, whereas the distance between its poles is 68,000 miles, 109,000 kilometers. Galileo Galilei was the first to see Saturn's rings in 1610, albeit they look more like handles or arms through his telescope. 45 years later, in 1655, Dutch astronomer Christiaan Huygens proposed the theory that Saturn had a thin, flat ring. He used a more powerful telescope to support this claim. As science developed new tools, we continue to understand the structure and composition of the rings better. In fact, Saturn is home to a number of rings, each of which is made up of billions of ice and rock particles and ranges in size from a grain of sugar to a house. The particles are believed to represent the remains of shattered comets, asteroids, or moons. The hypothesis that the rings are the remains of dwarf planets was introduced in a 2016 study. The largest ring is 7,000 times greater in diameter than the planet. The main rings are typically just about 30 feet, 9 meters, thick, but the Cassini-Huygens mission found vertical formations in a few of the rings, with particles accumulating in bumps and ridges more than 2 miles, 3 kilometers high. The rings are named in alphabetical order by the time they were discovered. The major rings are identified as C, B, and A, starting from the planet. The largest known outer ring is so big that it could fit 1 billion Earths inside of it. The incredibly faint D ring is the innermost ring. The Cassini division, a gap measuring around 4,700 kilometers, 2,920 miles, in width, separates the rings B and A. Strange spokes that seem to form and scatter in a matter of hours are present in Saturn's rings. According to scientific hypothesis, these spokes may be comprised of electrically charged sheets of dust-sized particles that were generated by small meteors striking the rings or by electron beams from the planet's lightning. In addition, the F ring of Saturn appears strangely braided. A lot of smaller rings that make up the ring contain bends, kinks, and multicolored clusters that can make them appear braided. Comet and asteroid collisions have also had an impact on the ring's appearance. The Cassini spacecraft approached Saturn's rings the most closely by the end of its mission. The probe's data is still being examined, but it has already provided details on the colors of some of Saturn's moons. The probe took new readings of the planet's magnetic field, which produces a powerful electron current, and found incredibly complex chemicals in the ring rain of debris that is released into the atmosphere from the rings and the regions between the rings. That was for today. Thank you for staying with us. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe to our channel.